on your career, not that you haven't look forward as well, looking back on your career, what was your best move?
My best move was being just captivated by the internet. And I can even tell you when I was captivated. It was when somebody sent me an image. And of course, it's hard for people substantially younger than me to appreciate this, but we thought of computers as isolated devices. You could put a CD-ROM in it and play something, but the notion of it being connected was really like my neurons were firing back and forth. And then it became, well, how can I get in? How can I like dedicate myself to this? And fortunately, I teamed up with some guys who were building an incubator, the first incubator really of the first internet incubator called Idea Lab. And just being sort of looking out there, you know, I was doing my thing at Disney, pretty happy, but saying this is where business models are going to get disrupted. This is where new ways of consumers doing things is going to happen. And that was a remarkable run for us.
This is where the hustle is.
Yeah.
Okay. What has been your dodgiest move?
Dodgiest move. Oh man. So many. You could call it in the early 90s, selling a bunch of property that I had acquired in the late 80s at rock bottom prices, because I looked at it and I said, well, I paid this, it's 3 times higher, without really thinking, yeah, but the intrinsic value is 10 times higher than that. So that became a bit of a rule for me. Winning trades, stay invested in. And yeah, I've done a few of those where I've gotten off the escalator prematurely when I thought, oh, it's all over now. And it hadn't even begun.
Okay,
and by
tough.
the way, that's a lesson to entrepreneurs everywhere. You know, you'll often hear people in crypto, well, in everything, am I too late? And I always say, you know, you're never too late, because it's like the guy who just published the 1000th Churchill biography. It's like, well, doesn't he wish he was the first guy? No, because, you know, as time passes, you see things differently. So, you know, a travel site, the best travel site of the 90s, Priceline, right? Pick your price, go in, bid for a hotel, was remarkable. You would have thought, well, then that travel opportunity is done. Well, then Airbnb comes 15 years later. And so, yeah, if you hear yourself saying, I'm too late, you know, you may very well be too early.
Wrap the knuckles. Okay. What move do you wish you had made in your career that you didn't do?
Well, in the crypto side of things, I'm annoyed at one thing that my partners and I did not do. And that is, you know, we had acquired Mt. Gox after it collapsed. We did not think we could relaunch Mt. Gox in the name Mt. Gox because we thought it was tainted. I mean, now that's such a silly idea. But, you know, if you have an exchange and it's just lost, you know, a third of everybody's holdings, the one thing an exchange shouldn't do is lose the people's principal. We figured that name was tainted. How could we have known that it turned out, you know, from that point on, exchanges routinely get hacked, and if anything, their business grows? And so we didn't immediately try to turn on Mt. Gox, and instead what we tried to do was, we built an exchange. And guess what happened? I did not authorize it to be released. And the reason was I could not get comfortable with the regulatory climate that this would be okay. And this annoys me because it turned out it was gray. No one knew, right? If you just couldn't figure it out. But most other guys said, the heck with it. You know what? It's not explicitly, not allowed, so let's just do it. And we've been running marketplaces for 20 years. We know how to do this stuff. So, and now I'm going to go and do the thing I told you not to do. But I've said to my team, I think it's too late, and
Maybe it's not.
And maybe it's not. The exchanges have become much better. Like when we were doing it, the exchanges were still nascent. There were very few. But in 2017, 2018, even part of 2019, it was so frustrating. They were so poorly managed. They didn't understand customer convenience and customer service. I would say they're getting much better. So yeah, but at this point, that's probably one of my biggest shoot.
It's a good one. It's a good one. Didn't expect that one. Okay, what's your next move?
Well, I think so. The whole concept of crypto, I've said this many times. I'm going to be in crypto until I retire. The area where I find the most interest is in this, where three forces collide. It's blockchain, e-commerce, and then trading, collecting and trading. In that nexus, I think there is massive opportunity. More and more of what we consider our possessions, what we consider our stores of value, will be moved to a digital place. And the more that happens, the more I think blockchain is going to be looked upon as a good place to do it. And so looking at, as part of Magnetic Capital, the fund, we incubate a lot. We're particularly interested in unlocking the power of brands and moving those brands onto blockchain. So over the next probably 5 years, that's where I'll be focused. I would like to try to draw on what's been done in deep learning, because I think there's so many things that a great deep learning model could help us, like accelerate what we want to do. You talked about something a few minutes ago, fraud. A fraud, either payment fraud, theft, digital theft. Those things are still rampant. And we're constantly figuring out new tricks bad guys are doing. And I'd like to be able to apply some really practical deep learning models to try to help accelerate our ability to address those problems. But I'm still not ready to do that because it's the models aren't great. I mean, maybe if you have Google scale, but
yeah,
at our scale, we still haven't reached the point where I feel like, okay, these are going to be helpful. So that's next.
That's the
Keep
next.
looking out for it.
Yeah, that's cool.